Hi YouTube, this is my 2011 A to B Metro Generation 2 made by Ultramotor. Uh, this design was one of the pioneers of the purpose-built electric bicycle. I believe in 2008 A to B came out with the original A to B Metro, and I owned that original version, which ran between 2008 to I believe 2010. It had some problems because they put the controller inside the motor housing and it tended to overheat. But on the second generation that you see here, they put the controller, they separated the controller from the motor housing and put it under the down tube right here. So much better airflow. And I've been riding this bike for almost 9 years, problem free. Of course, in all that time, the batteries do degrade, so I eventually upgraded the internal battery pack and had a battery builder rebuild the pack into almost double the capacity. So now it's a 21 amp hour battery inside the down tube. And that's one of the beauties of being able to work with a battery builder to maximize the capacity and just kind of to keep old e-bikes or discontinued e-bikes. The A to B is Metro is discontinued. To keep these old bikes on the road and extend their usefulness is to use a battery rebuilder to take the existing enclosure, battery enclosure, and upgrade the cells to more advanced, higher capacity cells. So as you can see, it's a full suspension electric bike, very comfortable. Probably one of the most comfortable electric bikes I've ever ridden. It has front and rear shocks. Very beefy Kenda Craze 20 by 3 inch road slick tires. This was a very well thought out electric bike platform. They had a bevy of accessories, everything from hard case laptop bags to shopping bags. There was a clip-on basket for it. And of course, the second battery rack that allows you to double the range. So it was a manual switch up here between the A battery and the B battery. So when you would run out of battery charge, you would just flip the switch and it would start drawing from the secondary battery, which is totally optional. I mean, this is something that you can pull out to save weight for shorter trips. Came with a full set of fenders. This was a 500 watt direct drive, 36 volt, 500 watt direct drive hub motor. So very low maintenance, not really any moving parts. So that gives the bike a lot of low maintenance and longevity. But just a very cool design, and again, still one of the most enjoyable and cushiest rides I've ever experienced on an electric bike. So fast forward maybe about 6 years to maybe about 2016 before I acquired this second, or my third e-bike, after having 2 generations of A to B Metros. I saw this on Kickstarter, and it was a small outfit out in Southern California called Lithium Cycles, and they're now a very famous brand. They've grown substantially in the last couple years. So a lot of people have heard of the Super 73. So this was the original V1 Super 73, but this was a limited edition version called the Super 73 Adventure, which featured 2 battery racks. So it has a dual battery capability. And what's special about this particular one is there's an electronic box under the seat. You can kind of see the shadow right there. That allowed this bike to automatically switch between the depleted and the full battery. So as soon as you start running low on voltage and running out of charge on the first battery, it automatically switched to the second battery without you having to stop to swap the batteries. So everything was just automatic, uninterrupted riding. So unlike the A to B where I have to flip a switch, here I just kept riding, and it just goes to the second battery on its own. Advertised range when this was brand new from the manufacturer, they claimed it would do maybe like up to 50 miles on 2 batteries. These are somewhat smaller packs. They're capacity packs. They're 11.6 amp hours a piece. So in the future, when these do eventually degrade, I may go back to the battery rebuilder and increase the capacity of these packs, and that can really make this bike a range monster. According to the manufacturer, maybe about 10 of these exist. The dual battery version, Adventure version, Super 73. So it's a very, very rare e-bike. It was a made in USA frame. They built these out in Southern California. This is a steel frame, unlike the A to B Metro, which was a aluminum frame. So it is heavier, but it's very, very robust and very strong. Again, this is basically a retro mini bike, taco mini bike inspired design. So if you remember if you're around like I was in the 70s, the taco mini bikes. So that basically was the theme of this bike, and it's a very cool look to it. It uses a BBSHD, a proven BBSHD Bafang motor, mid-drive motor. It's a 1,000 watt motor, and it really gives you a lot of torque. And you can, because it's a mid-drive, you can really take advantage of gear ratios if you decide to add a set of gears. The Super 73 came stock as a 16-tooth rear cog, single speed. One of the novel things about it is it had a bottle holder built into the frame, as well as a bottle cap opener. The folks at Lithium Cycles kind of set mine up with a real cool Ebike branded LED pod light in the front, and the square shaped headlamp really, I think, works with the square frame of the triple tree here on the fork and the handlebars. They also were kind enough to give me strip LED tail lights and brake lights. So if I do pull the brake levers, you can see there that it does get brighter. It's a nice safety feature. I didn't do a whole lot of modifications to this bike. I just really like the purity of the stock configuration. But for safety reasons, I did add a set of mirrors. These are the CRG 2.2 LS lane split folding bar end mirrors. It's a smaller diameter, but I think it fits the scale of the bike, because this is not a very big bike. And so I kind of curated, minimalist, in a minimalist fashion, curated some additional parts for it. And now this isn't the original seat. This is the new seat that Super 73 our Lithium Cycles has come out with. So this is a recent addition. The old seat used to be a smooth with piping all around the edges. This new seat is, I think, more functional in terms of these surface details really prevent any slipping and sliding. And the elimination of the piping, although it didn't bother me, should be more comfortable for pedaling. My bike is outfitted with 20 by 4 inch or 20 by 4.25 inch Kenda road slits, since I am mostly a city road rider. So now I just want to introduce you to a new e-bike, and this is the 2018-2019 Juiced Bikes HyperScrambler. And this is the top of the line version of the Juiced Scrambler line. This was an Indiegogo project launched by Tora Harris of Juiced Bikes out in Chula Vista, California. Like the Super 73, this is also a mini bike inspired form factor, but unlike the Super 73, which was a no suspension bike, this has a front air suspension fork, so it should be a little bit more comfortable handling potholes or bumps in the road. It also has a much taller seat height, so I think for pedaling, it should be less of a bent knee situation and kind of more natural pedaling. But since I am a short rider at 5'5", I may have to lean a little bit on stops. This comes with a 52 tooth front chainring. It is a 1100 watt Mac geared hub motor with a 9-speed cassette. There are race plates on this bike for customization and personalization, so you can put numbers or graphics on those race plates. The HyperScrambler does have attachment points for this plate. It's for foot pegs to maybe take a rear passenger. It is a 52 volt 19.2 amp hour battery pack, and a combination with a Mac 1100 watt motor. This bike should be able to do about 32 miles per hour on throttle and 35 plus on pedal assist. Now this has a torque sensor, so it adjusts power delivery in your pedaling based on your effort. So it should be a more natural pedaling experience compared to a cadence sensor. The battery turns on right here, and it does have a display near the grips of the handlebar. See the full charge here, 58.1 volts. It does have front and rear lights, very bright front light, and it comes with this tail light that is powered off the battery, so you can do different modes. This iteration of the frame design does also have screw bosses for an eventual rack accessory. So that's still pending as of right now. I think they're still designing that. Comes with 20 by 4 inch Kenda Crusader Sport knobby tires, off-road tires. And I may eventually decide to swap those out for slicks. But I think for now I'll give this a try. 180 millimeter Tektro hydraulic brakes. So for a bike that goes this kind of speed, stopping is very important. Side kickstand. So I'll talk a little bit more about the bike once I start riding it and getting a little bit more familiar with the controls and what it can do. So I'm just excited to give this a go. So let's take it out for a ride and see what this horse can do.
Okay.
All right.
All right, good luck.
All right, here we go. All throttle. I do I hit 31.
Yeah, I saw 31.
Good. It hesitated a little bit around 17, 18, and then after that it went back to smooth. That was actually pretty good. Oh, this whole street's closed. All right. Cool.
I had to like stop a little bit, so you might have to edit it because I had to like
fine.
use both my hands.
It's just to quiet all those critics. Oh, that's a big looking bike. But that's actually pretty decent. So they were telling me 32 should be the top throttle speed.
I saw 32 on mine.
Okay, good. And then pedal assist should be 37 or 35 plus, so I'm gonna try that.
All right, do you want a video of you going pedal?
Yeah, I don't know if we, yeah,
That way.
should we just go that way, or we could do this run
You wanna
again?
try this one right here?
Let's see how we get. You're low enough. The limbo. Alright. Okay. So I'm in gear 9. I'm in the smallest cog now. Good. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Alright. I'm gonna pedal assist. Smallest gear. Smallest cog. Yeah, me too. So it does it. Good stuff. Whew. That was pretty good. Good workout though.
Yeah.
Gee. Oh man.
Put on my gloves again.
See that? 36 miles per hour. On torque sensing, race mode, pedal assist. So it does it. It does it.